So you're thinking about moving to Overland Park, Kansas? But should you really move to Overland Park, Kansas? Today I'm going to walk you through the pros and cons of moving to Overland Park, Kansas. Don't get me wrong, there are a ton of pros, but no city is without a few cons, and I'm going to share some of those with you today. And we're going to get started right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Kansas City or Overland Park, then hit the subscribe button below and tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market in Overland Park or Kansas City. Hi, my name is Cheryl McCormick with ReeceNichols Real Estate. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Kansas City, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of the information is in the description below so that we can help you make a smooth move to Overland Park or Kansas City. As I mentioned, I'm going to be giving you the pros and cons of living in Overland Park, Kansas. And so let's delve right in. First, I'm going to talk about the cons of living in Overland Park, Kansas. One of the first things that everyone wants to know, if they're not from Kansas, is about tornadoes. Now, I'm not really sure if everyone thinks we get a lot of tornadoes in Kansas because of the Wizard of Oz, but in reality, Overland Park only averages about 3 tornadoes per year. Now, that doesn't mean that every part of Overland Park will see tornadoes or that every tornado that touches the ground does damage. I've lived in Kansas all of my life, and I've never actually even seen a tornado. But they can and they do happen occasionally, and if it's a bad one, they can cause severe damage. If you're moving to Overland Park, you should make sure that you have a basement or some sort of tornado shelter to protect you just in case. So I would definitely call tornadoes a con for living in Overland Park, Kansas. Now, while we're talking about the weather, let's talk about some more cons. Summers in Overland Park are hot, muggy, and wet. Summer temperatures average about 89 degrees, but we can have several days over 100 degrees. And our heat is muggy. So it can actually feel 10 to 15 degrees higher than the actual temperature. And now let's talk winters. Winters are cold and we can get ice and snow. Temperatures can get at or below zero. The average snowfall is about 18 inches per year, but we can get significant amounts occasionally with 6 to 10 inches in a single snow event. Therefore, you may want to have a snowblower on hand, although you probably won't need it every year because we don't necessarily get large snowfalls. We can also occasionally get ice storms, which are usually worse than snowstorms. They don't happen as often, but when they do, they can really paralyze the city. And we also get thunderstorms, which at times can be severe. We can get lightning and hail can average from 1/4 inch to 1 inch. It can actually damage cars and especially roofs. Another con that is a result of the weather in Overland Park, Kansas is allergies. Allergies can be a big problem for many residents of Overland Park, including myself. We get tree pollens in the spring, which lasts from February to May. We get grass pollens in the warm months, usually the worst in May and June, and weed pollens in mid-August through the first freeze in late October or early November. So there's really only a few months in Overland Park, Kansas, where you are not bothered by pollens. That is, if you're subjective to allergies, which I am, and a lot of people are. So that's something to consider. Another con about living in Overland Park, Kansas, is that it generally has higher taxes. The average sales tax rate in Overland Park is 9.1% compared to 7.3% for the average American city. Overland Park also has an average income tax rate of 5.7% compared to the national average of 4.6%. Property taxes are on the higher side as well, with a mill levy of 14.578 mills. But a pro is that if you are moving to the Kansas City area, Overland Park actually has the lowest property tax rate in Johnson County, Kansas. So that can be a pro. While there are definitely some cons about living in Overland Park, Kansas, I truly believe the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Overland Park continuously ranks high on the best places to live in the U.S. It's #1 in the best cities to buy a house in America, #4 in the best cities to raise a family in America, and #5 in the best cities to live in America. Overland Park also has highly rated schools. The public schools get a grade of A+, according to niche.com. But if public schools aren't for you, there are also several private school options in the Overland Park area. Overland Park also has a slower pace of life. There's less traffic in Overland Park with an average commute time of 20.4 minutes. You'll find less crowds, but still we have lots and lots of parks and amenities. Some of the amenities that we have the Overland Park Arboretum, which is a lovely, lovely garden center that you can walk through. They have several different events there every single year. We have the Children's Discovery Garden, which is a great place to visit. One of my grandkids' favorite places to visit is the Deanna Rose Children's Farmstead, which has several different types of farm animals. There are gardens, there are playgrounds. Again, they host many events there every year. It's really a fun place to go. You probably also want to visit the Overland Park Farmers Market that's been around for 30 years. And it ranks #1 in the nation, according to the 14th Annual America's Farmers Market celebration. And don't forget, Overland Park also has great shopping and restaurants. If you live in Overland Park, there's really no reason to go outside of Overland Park for any type of amenities. You could comfortably live in Overland Park and never leave. Now, that's not to say you won't want to go to other areas of Kansas City, but if you live in Overland Park, you really wouldn't have to. Overland Park also has a healthy economy. According to Commute.com, Overland Park expects a 35.5% job growth in the next decade. That's a lot. So Overland Park is booming, it's growing. Overland Park is also home to many large businesses. Those businesses include the ACE Group, Synergy Group, NPC International, YRC Freight, Favorite Healthcare Staffing, Black & Veatch, and MIQ Logistics. Don't get me wrong, there's never a perfect city that you can choose to live, but overall, Overland Park is pretty great. There are definitely some cons to consider, but I think the pros far outweigh the cons. And if you want to learn more about Overland Park, be sure to check out my Overland Park vlog tour and my Overland Park map tour videos. And remember, whether you're planning on moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, all in the description below, so that I can help you make that smooth move to Kansas City. So until next time, I hope to show you around town.